Happy Monday, Striver. It's Brandon Richard, founder and CEO of GrowthDay, and I'm excited to bust a little bit of personal development and optimism into your ears today. It's Monday. I hope you woke up fired up to serve this week. I hope you woke up feeling blessed to have the opportunity to be present, to be loving, to be of service to others this week. I hope that you woke up today ready to get at it. I want to talk about that topic of optimism today for you. We talk a lot about optimism, of course, here at GrowthDay because it's such a huge topic in personal development. So many people struggle with it. Right now, it's very easy to drown in pools of pessimism that are perpetuated by everybody else in the world. And it's very easy to get down on ourselves, down on our times. And so where can that optimism come back to life? Where can that light spark back inside our heart and our soul and our mind to get us feeling good about our lives, our future together? Let's talk about it. 4 big ideas in optimism today for your notes. Number 1, environment. It's very true that optimism is greatly impacted by the environment in which you live, specifically about the people, of course, who you are around. And the people who you are around shape your attitudes and your beliefs and your behaviors. They serve as role models, or they set the barometer for your own beliefs. They set the normalization of what's expected and what is possible, and they dictate often how we think, because the more we're around them, the more their mentality bleeds into ours. And so I say to you, if you do not have an environment that is supportive, that is cheering you on, that is forward-looking, that's excited for building for the future, it is your job to build that environment, to create that culture, to shape that influence in your family. And if you can't do it there, if you can't do it at home, or you can't do it at work, it is your job to go find a community or an environment in which it supports that, period. I know that sounds like a privileged thing to say, but I can tell you where I grew up, in an economically depressed Irish mining town where there was not a lot of hope for the future. It was survival, survival, survival. And it was a very, very difficult place to live. I recognized that I didn't have a lot of mentors. I recognized that the environment I was in, I didn't know anyone who was striving for things. I recognized in multiple towns that we moved around as my dad got different jobs. I recognized like, wow, I'm never going to make it out of here if I don't meet some new people. I remember having this one situation where I had met a friend and they were talking about the future in ways I couldn't comprehend because we were barely getting by. And it made me realize, wow, I've never heard someone talk like this before about the future, about abundance, about opportunities. And so what I decided to do was get in a new environment. I decided to start volunteering. I knew that by volunteering, I would meet other people who were of service and faith. And as I met other people who were of service and faith, I knew my network would expand. And then I came to find out when you volunteer, you also meet people who are on the leaders in those nonprofit organizations, or people on the board, or people who donate, who happen to be the most successful people in that town, because usually leaders are givers. And so in volunteering, I met a lot of leaders and I started shaping my network as I wanted to create it so that I could have access to a future. And so I think it's important that we all realize that we can build the environment that we need, even if it doesn't exist here. It doesn't mean we have to destroy our environment or our home life or quit our jobs. What it means is, if those aren't sufficient to be around people who are high performing, who are successful, who are givers, who are supportive and cheering on of you and your future, then it's our job. It is our responsibility to go find that and build that. Second big idea I want to share with you is the ideals of individualism versus collectivism. And what I mean by this is when we lose an optimism for the future, it's often because we become myopic in our viewpoints. We believe our individual story and the individual happenings in our lives are the collective reality. If we're not getting ahead, you know what? The world's going to hell too, right? If I'm having a good time, then everyone else must be having a good time. If I'm succeeding, then it's easy for everyone else to succeed. We project our own individual reality onto the reality of the world. And tell you what, when your own individual reality isn't good, it sure is easy to imagine the rest of the world is not good too. And we have to be aware of that. We have to think, oh, wow, I need to make sure I get perspective. That's why I encourage you again to be around high achieving, successful, high contributing, heart-driven, conscious people. And when I say high performing people, what I mean by that is people who do achieve long-term success because of their diligence, their discipline, but they're also maintaining their well-being. They're also maintaining positive relationships. They're also being role models. That, you know what, when we're around that, when that's the collective reality, it lifts all boats. That's why you want to work for a positive, forward-looking, service-driven organization. That's why you want to make sure that you're reading books from history or reading things today in the media that's about the collective positive, because it shapes your mind. And you start to realize, oh, things are going better than I thought. My friend Peter Diamandis wrote a book called Abundance. And he wrote it because it was at a time when everyone was so pessimistic that he was like, let me show you the science of how far humanity has come. In every measurable area, literally of everything in the human story has gotten better. All of it. Everything, right? How long children live after they're born. How long you and I tend to live. How much abundance we have available to us worldwide. How far we've advanced in medical, in technical, in science, in every possible area. The human story of advancement has been outstanding and extraordinary worldwide. And yes, are there still challenges? Are some places getting ahead faster than others? Yes. But when you look at the collective human story, you would stand back in awe. Look how far we have come. But we don't see that if we're in our own little pocket, if we're own little cul-de-sac, if we're in our own little village. It's easy to imagine the rest of the world is just like us, and it might not be going as fast as we would like. But when you lift your head up and you see the incredible advancement of the world collectively, you get optimistic. Third idea is just beware of the media. You know, the media is not there. When's the last time you finished a news report on watching something on television? God forbid, you were watching like news on TV. When's the last time you finished watching that and you felt optimistic for the future? Well, the reason that doesn't happen is because news organizations are paid for engagement. And sadly, it's so easy to engage with that old rule that what bleeds leads. It's that old rule in media that if you make it conflict, if you make it divisiveness, if you make it polarizing, if you make it sensational, people will watch. And the more they watch, the more ads become lucrative. The more ads that become lucrative, the more, quote unquote, the shareholders win. Unfortunately, the shareholders is also the culture. It's also us. And a lot of the divisiveness and the negativity that ultimately breeds into pessimism and distrust, that has been perpetuated by the media. And yes, no matter what media you listen to, that you believe your channel is the truth and the other channels are all lies. No, yours too has a specific agenda and perspective. And no matter which one you think is true or better than the others, they're all playing on human psychology, in which they use clickbait to engage you more, in which they get paid more. And once you know that's true, suddenly you decide to check that perspective. And I think that's more important now than ever. Last big idea, progress. You want to be optimistic? Crush it this week. You want to feel better about your future next year? Crush it this month. You want to have a better, rosier, happier demeanor about your next 5 years? Crush it this year. I think the people often think that optimism and pessimism are these fixed things, like a fixed mindset, but they're not. You can deeply and dramatically change how you feel about the future by getting a little more progress this week. It's so funny how just a little bit of progress week over week can change someone's entire perspective about their health, about their family, about their future, about their finances. And so this is that day. It's Monday. Go into the plan section of your GrowthDay app and make your plan for the week. Even if you just write to-do list, or you write Friday finishers, or you name your 2 or 3 projects and you write down the 4 or 5 subtasks to them. And all you do is you come back into GrowthDay app every day, you look at that plan and you execute. You will finish this week stronger. You will finish this week more confident in yourself. And as you gain more confidence in self, as you gain more confidence in realizing you can shift and shape the world to achieve your goals, you'll become more optimistic. That's the fire today, is that you get to dictate how you feel about the future based on how well you show up today. What a blessing. I tell you every single time, and I hope you hear it today, go into that plan. On Mondays, use the plan section to chart out your week. If you're in a bad mood already, maybe listen to this again, or listen to one of the teachers here on GrowthDay. Go into your journal, your week. If you're in a bad mood already, maybe listen to this again, or listen to one of the teachers here on GrowthDay. Go into your journal, your week. If you're in a bad mood already, maybe listen to this again, or listen to one of the teachers here on GrowthDay. Go into your journal, your week. If you're in a bad mood already, maybe listen to this again, or listen to one of the teachers here on GrowthDay. Go into your journal. Fill out that morning mindset button. Get yourself in a good mindset. Write out your plan, then go kick butt. Because it's Monday. That means every day is a good day to grow.